What is up, guys? It is Sunday the 19th of March. Now, if you entered the PCGW giveaway a couple of weeks ago, then make sure to stick around to the end of this video because that's when I'm going to be announcing all of the winners. There's a timestamp in the description, and it's on screen right here if you want to skip straight to it. However, first, this is your tech news roundup. First up, good news for the PC Master Race, because Sony have announced that you might be able to play PS4 games on your PC. Now, it's important to note they're not announcing a new service. This uses PS Now, a service that already exists that lets you play PlayStation 3 games on your PlayStation 4 or PC. They've just announced that they're adding PlayStation 4 games to it. There's no specific date though, and they've said in the next few weeks, so expect it sometime soon. However, it is great news. The subscription service costs £12.99 per month in the UK and $19.99 in the US, which isn't too bad a price considering there are 483 games currently on PS Now. What's cool is these games don't actually run on your PC. They run on a separate PC and then it's like streamed to you. You wouldn't want to play games like CSGO, for example, where it's sort of really Twitch shooter gaming. This is for sort of, you know, games where that millisecond doesn't really matter. Racing games you can kind of get away with, I guess, and then single player shooter games, The Last of Us is really good on that as well. Sony recommends at least 5 megabit per second download speeds so that you can actually play the game at its full potential, and for most people that's not unreasonable actually, so it's really cool that it's completely internet based and you can play it on more or less any computer. The interesting thing is Microsoft is going in a relatively similar route where a lot of Xbox games are actually becoming Xbox and PC, such as Halo Wars 2. Two games I'm really looking forward to and really hope come to PS Now are Horizon Zero Dawn and Bloodborne. Those are two extremely good console exclusive games that I really want to play like the whole thing of, and for £13 a month, please Sony, please just do it. Elsewhere this week, Google pushed a major update to Chrome, which really reduces the amount of battery life it uses and the amount of RAM. What is this madness? Google Chrome is currently the biggest web browser in the world, with roughly 58% of market share worldwide, and it's interesting because before 2017, the intention of Chrome was as fast as possible, no matter what, and in 2017, their aim has been to kind of cut back, because that as fast as possible, no matter what, means that they're using as much RAM and as much battery as they can for very marginal improvements, and they're aiming to cut that down a bit. The main way they're doing this is by restricting the amount of CPU background tabs can use to 1% of one core, which is fine for most tabs, but is an issue if you're using something like YouTube or Spotify, so they're sort of working to make that a bit more dynamic. If you have Spotify issues whilst like going to a different tab, that's the reason. However, it shouldn't be too big a deal. This is said to roughly decrease battery usage by 25%, which is not insignificant. That's a really decent amount. And if you use Google Chrome right now, it will auto-update at some point, but you can go into settings to sort of force it if you want to, but it should happen. And if you don't currently have Chrome installed, when you do install it, it will be the new version 57. As someone who doesn't really use laptops and has a relatively capable PC, I mean, I render these videos on it, as my main computer, I've never had sort of significant issues with Google Chrome, but I know that if you don't have a very powerful PC or you are using a laptop, it can be a pain, and 2017 should mark multiple steps in the right direction. It's also worth mentioning that it's also out on Android and iOS, which means you'll get longer battery life on your phone, and who doesn't want more battery life? And finally, jumping over to a different part of Google, Google Home had a controversial week. The issue here is that if you asked it for your daily briefing, it seemed to play an ad for the new Beauty and the Beast live-action movie, which is peculiar because they shouldn't be putting that into your daily briefing. Before I carry on with the story though, it is worth mentioning that it was retracted and a Google spokesperson said it wasn't intended to be an ad. With the spokesperson saying it was just an attempt to call out timely content, and also admitting that they could have done better at handling the situation. They did say, however, they were going to continue experimenting with new ways to surface unique content for users, but what that means we will never know. Or will we? Considering we're the ones being advertised to. It is important to note that Google's core business model is advertising, so it's not too unheard of for this to be a way for them to make money. If you haven't had the chance to hear the advo, here's a quick clip of it.
By the way, Disney's live-action Beauty and the Beast opens today. Yay! Version of the story, Belle is the inventor instead of Maurice. That rings truer if you ask me. For some more movie fun, ask me to tell you something about Belle.
It's remarkably ad-like, isn't it? It doesn't sound like an experience you're offering your users. It's definitely an advertisement. However, I'm sure we can almost guarantee that's never popping up again, because if it does, Google will have major backlash. So that's all the tech news. However, we have our own piece of tech news, which is that if you entered that giveaway, good news, the winners are right here. Congratulations! The prize you have won is in the order I announced it, so I believe the first two are winning a copy of Crumble, with the third one winning a copy of the sword. I think I have a thing here. Hang on, let me grab it. This one, you're winning a copy of the Bloodis for Expeditions Viking, and then there's someone also winning the full PCW pack, which is this magazine, plus this, plus a copy of Crumble, so congratulations. Anyway guys, if you like the video, make sure to click like. If you didn't, I'm not quite sure what you're doing here. However, we have a bunch of videos coming from our data center world and Cloud Expo Europe, all coming over the course of the next week, so make sure to subscribe to see those. Click here to see the previous video, and click here to see the video that YouTube thinks you'll like most. Definitely subscribe though, because there are more giveaways coming soon, and I'll see you guys next time.